Once you begin, you must never stop competing. Because competition makes us stronger, helps us push past whatever stands in our way.
Good evening, and you're very welcome to the Bank of Ireland draws for the club and the schools competitions that we hope, fingers crossed, will be held in 2021. Over the course of the next while, we will focus on the club game, and I will have Leinster and Ireland stars Arissa Muldoon and Ed Byrne with me to help me with those draws. Well, as you all know, 2020 has been a very strange and unusual year, but the purpose of the draws here this evening is to allow us to start planning for 2021, and as I said, hopefully, fingers crossed, playing those games in a COVID compliant and in a safe manner. Normally we would be down in the Bank of Ireland branch in Ballsbridge for a draw such as this, but unfortunately, again with COVID, we are here in Leinster Rugby HQ in UCD. But I would like to thank most sincerely the team in Bank of Ireland, Paula, Sharon, Sam, Gemma, Joanne, and of course all the team down in the branch in Ballsbridge, who would in the ordinary course of events be so accommodating to us on a night like this. Bank of Ireland have been sponsors of the professional game and indeed the domestic game in Leinster Rugby since 2007 and announced only a couple of years ago that they would be with us indeed until 2023. But in a year such as this, their support means more than ever. So a sincere thanks to everyone in Bank of Ireland. A sincere thanks as well to everyone on the Youths Committee under the stewardship of Scott Ennis for all their help in getting these draws up and running this evening in UCD, and of course to the team in the Leinster Rugby branch, Phil Lawler, Dermot O'Mahony, Lisa Doyle, and everyone else involved in the administration and the running of the games in the 12 counties of Leinster, to the team and videos on the net behind the cameras, to Connor, to Ryan, and to everyone else as well behind the scenes helping to put this production together here this evening. Again, a very sincere thanks. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. Well, the first of our draws for the club competitions is the DArcy Cup draw, and I'm delighted to say that we have Leinster and Ireland star Ed Byrne with me here this evening to help me out. Ed, congratulations. It's been a massive couple of weeks for you, and we'll get to that in a second. But, this is the first of our Bank of Ireland club draws. You went to Clongowes Wood College and School, but of course the formative years all started out in County Carlow. None of us would be here without the clubs and the grounding they gave us in the game.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think I absolutely loved my time. That's where I got the love of rugby in Carlow Rugby Club, and all my family played there as well. And I think that's a great part of the club community. Is it's a family and a big organisation like that. So I think it's so important for young kids to develop that kind of understanding of the game. And we had some great coaches. We were lucky, myself, Brian, Tom Daly, all on the same team. So we all the way up to under 12s, and I really enjoyed it.
Speaking of Brian, how's he getting on over in Bristol?
Yeah, good. He's come back over to Ireland this weekend now to play against Connacht, so that'll be exciting, but he's loving it so far.
Good, great to hear. As I mentioned, it's been a massive couple of weeks for you. Congratulations. An Irish debut. Well, how did it go? I know it finished poorly with the injury and stuff like that, but massive achievement to finally make that Irish debut.
That was an incredible few weeks. I really enjoyed it, and obviously a massive honour to pull on the green jersey for the first time, and absolutely loved every minute of it.
The injury, as I mentioned, unfortunately put an end to your involvement in the Autumn Nations Cup, but how are you feeling? And because obviously there's a massive couple of weeks in store for Leinster too.
Yeah, getting there now, thank God. Ferg Cairns is doing some great work with me now, so I'm not too far away, and hopefully train by the end of this week and kick on from there. Okay, brilliant stuff. Listen, Ed, thanks a million for being with us here this evening, and we will get stuck into the draw. And as I said, the first draw here this evening, and that is for the DArcy Cup. So Ed Byrne, if you can please take out the first ball, and let's see who the first name out of the draw is, please. And Scorty.
Thanks, Ed. And they will play. And this is a straight up draw, folks. It's just 1 against 2, 3 against 4, all the way down. And Scorty will play
Portlaoise B.
Portlaoise B. Great stuff. That's our first pairing in the DArcy Cup draw. Ed, if you can pick out our second pairing, please.
Wexford.
And Wexford will play
Navan.
Wexford will play Navan. Our third game in the first round of the D'Arcy Cup is as follows.
Naas B.
And Naas B will face
Suttonians.
Naas B will face Suttonians. Thanks, Ed. And our fourth game in the first round of the D'Arcy Cup.
Portlaoise A.
And Portlaoise A will face
County Carlow.
Great stuff, Ed. You're keeping a close eye on that one, I'm sure. And the next matchup, please.
Mullingar.
And Mullingar will face
Byrne.
Byrne. Next game in the D'Arcy Cup we'll see
Gorey.
And Gorey will face
Ravens.
Gorey will face the Ravens.
Clondalkin.
And Clondalkin will face
Enniscorthy Colts.
Clondalkin against Enniscorthy Colts.
Tullamore.
And Tullamore will face
Port Arlington.
Tullamore against Port Arlington.
Ashburn.
And Ashburn will face
Newbridge.
Ashburn against Newbridge.
Ratoath.
And Ratoath will face
Northmead.
Ratoath against Northmead. One of our longer draws here this evening, but you're getting there, Ed, don't worry.
Kildare.
Kildare will face
Skerries.
Kildare against Skerries.
New Ross.
And New Ross will face
Longford.
New Ross against Longford. Last few, Ed, you're getting there. Good lad.
MU Barnhall.
MU Barnhall will face
Tullow.
Tullow. Wouldn't be half as keen on them.
Hope it keeps Johnny happy. Atari B.
Yeah. Athy B will face
Wicklow.
Wicklow.
Atari A.
Athy A will face
Naas A.
Naas A.
Awesome.
And the last one in the DArcy Cup draw for 2021, sponsored by Bank of Ireland.
Kilkenny.
And Kilkenny will face
Edenderry.
Kilkenny facing Edenderry, and that is the last game in the DArcy Cup draw for 2021. To Ed Byrne, thanks a million for your time here this evening, Ed. And without further ado, we'll pull up on the screen the full draw as we have it for the DArcy Cup for 2021.
Everyone is competing with something. So whether it's on or off the pitch, once you begin, you must never stop competing.
Now, the next draw here this evening in the Bank of Ireland club draw is indeed the Noeleen Spain draw, and I'm delighted to say that we have another Leinster and Ireland star, and that is Larissa Muldoon here with us this evening to help me out with the draw again. Larissa, it's been a strange old year, obviously, and in particular from a women's point of view in the girls' game. A lot of disruption, no winter pros, obviously disruption to the Six Nations, of that. Difficult.
Yeah, it has been difficult, but I think in many ways it's made us actually stronger as a province, as a nation as well. I know from an Ireland side we've been very fortunate to be tipping away at our training. We've had more weekend camps, so we're in actually a really good position. And from a club side, I suppose the girls and the youth teams have been fortunate to keep continuing their training. So in many ways you can focus on the things that maybe you take for granted. So yeah, I think overall we've got to take the positives and move on.
You're with Leinster a while now, but the accent gives you away. You're obviously a native of Donegal, but you are now here in Leinster a couple of years. I presume you're loving being, because you're an employee of Leinster Rugby as well as playing with Leinster Rugby. Enjoying your time?
Yeah, absolutely love it. I can't wait now to get home for Christmas, obviously. But yeah, I think Leinster have welcomed me with open arms. Within my role, and obviously, you know, as an employee overall, kind of engaging with the different elements within the organisation. So yeah, absolutely love it, and the buzz that you get from the clubs as well, and in the schools, so it's been great.
Out and about in the clubs and the schools, I mean, the growth of the girls and the women's game has been phenomenal, in particular since 2010, and you're seeing that growth on the ground.
Oh, absolutely. You know, from our mini sections up into our youth sections, and then building into our senior women's, it's been huge. I suppose I'm just so lucky to be on the ground and seeing that growth, and yeah, seeing those girls develop from, you know, an under 12 up into an under 14, and even the player development pathways that we have in our areas, the 5 areas, it's been massive. So yeah, just huge positives.
I remember chatting to Ben Armstrong about something last year, and even with Judy Bobbitt a couple of weeks ago, and that this is nearly the first generation of Leinster Rugby women's players who will have come through a system completely, as in they've joined clubs at minis level, they've come on, whereas in the past maybe we've been reliant on players coming across from other codes. But this generation, we're now seeing players who've played all the way through and all the way along, from clubs into schools, etc.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, and I think, the girls take a lot of pride in that. You have Julie Bobbitt, like from Ashburn, went through the minis playing with the boys, then obviously under 12s, under 14s, then playing in the female game, and then to transition then to play for her area and then Leinster. Like, that is the pathway, and I think the more girls can visibly see that there is a pathway, the more girls that will get them engaging from that young age. And if you think their playing age, if you have an 8-year-old like continuing to play right up into 18s, like, I didn't pick up the game till I was 16, so like I'm way behind them, you know what I mean? So it's it's only positive, and it's actually great, and you can see, I don't know, that pride in the jersey and the club. I think it's really important from a Leinster perspective that you have visible girls from minis into youth, into their senior section.
Well, hopefully one day you'll catch up with them.
Hopefully.
Just finally, Larissa, obviously we mentioned about 2020, but 2021, the fact we're here, and very hopeful. Obviously we see Gaelic games, Gaelic football and hurling being played at an age grade, underage level, and I suppose the hope is for 2021 that we can get back out there and get games going in our clubs and our schools, hence why we're here for the Bank of Ireland club and schools draw.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, obviously learning from the GAA and seeing, the sporting achievements that went on last weekend, I think the girls and the boys obviously will be buzzing now to get back, and they've been training really hard over the past few months, obviously non-contact elements, but leading into January and stuff, we'll be looking forward to getting a bit of competition going again and keeping that competitive edge. So yeah.
Great stuff. Well, listen, about that competitive edge, let's get it going. We are going to start now with the Noeleen Spain Cup draw, and as I said, Larissa is going to give us a dig out here. A little bit different of a format comparison to some of the other draws that we'll have this evening. So the first 7 names out of the box here this evening will have a bye into the second round, but thereafter we'll have Team 1 against Team 2, Team 3 against Team 4, etc. So without further ado, Larissa, if you wouldn't mind pulling out the first 7 names, ruffle around please. And as I said, these first 7 will have it, and you can throw into the bin just so we have no confusion. The first 7 names.
Nice.
So the first team with a bye to round 2 is Naas. The second team with a bye. Athy. The third team with a bye. Gorey. The fourth team with a bye for the second round of the Noeleen Spain Cup.
Big one. Ashburn Balbriggan, ABS.
Ashburn Balbriggan. And if my maths is correct, the fifth team with a bye to round 2. Wexford. Team number 6.
Clontarf.
And Dermot, if I'm correct, team number 7 into a bye for round 2 is Arklow. Okay, so those are our 7 clubs that are straight through to round 2 in the Noeleen Spain draw, and now we will go into the open draw, and again it'll be Team 1 facing Team 2. So the first game in round 1 of the Noeleen Spain draw sees Kilkenny, and they will face
That'll be a good game.
Tullow. The second game in the first round of the Noeleen Spain Cup is Northmeath, and they will face Enniscorthy. The next first round draw in the Noeleen Spain Cup is
New
Ross. And the Wexford club will take on Portdara, which is of course a mix of Portarlington and Keeldara. will face.
Port
Laois. Off Lee against Laois in that draw. And the next game, Dundalk, and they will face Longford. Tullamore will face Navan. Mullingar will face St Mary's. Greystones will face Wicklow. Nice local rivalry there.
Edenderry.
And Edenderry will face. They've no other option, I think. I think this is our last one.
MU
Barnhall. So there you have it, folks. That is the full draw for the Noeleen Spain Cup, as sponsored by Bank of Ireland for 21. So as we put that up on the screen, just a massive thanks to Larissa, Muldoon, and the very best of luck for 2021. And there, as we see it, there is the full draw for the Noeleen Spain Cup. There you go, folks. Those are the draws for the 2021 Premier Under-18 Boys and Girls competitions for Leinster. Of course, the DArcy Cup and the Noeleen Spain Cup. Again, a sincere thanks to Ed Byrne and to Larissa Muldoon for their time here this evening. And indeed, you at home for watching. We do sincerely hope that we get back to competitive action in 2021. Again, as we've said, all evening in a COVID compliant and in a safe manner. But from us all here in Leinster Rugby head office, thank you so much for being with us this evening. Thank you so much to Bank of Ireland for hosting this stream this evening. And again, from us all here in Leinster Rugby, stay safe, Nollaig Hannah, and we'll leave you with a short video just looking at some of the highlights of the domestic rugby game in the 12 counties of Leinster.